What is going on, IF Warriors? Is your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about if the Leangains method is actually ideal for building muscle. Stay tuned. So, one of the biggest questions that I get definitely all the time is, what is the best system that I can use for building muscle? And the one thing that comes to mind is the Leangains method. It's Leangains for a reason. This is the method where the eating window can be extended very, very long, and then the fasting window can be shortened much more, while still being in a fasted state. So you do create the fasted state every single day when you do the Leangains method. Now, the Leangains method, just to clear it up, because when I talk about it, I just call it the 16-8 method, and I mentioned it being named the Leangains method, but the Leangains is the 16-8 method, which means you fast for 16 hours, then you eat for 8 hours. Now, is it ideal for building muscle? To build muscle, if you were to fast, if you wanted to fast to build muscle, then there's no better one, in my opinion, than the Leangains, because of the amount of calories that you have to eat. Now, I want to eliminate every single notion where one would think that you can build muscle and lose weight at the same time. Scientifically, that cannot happen. It is very difficult for that to happen. Very special circumstances have to be in place for something like that to happen. The more practical and the more realistic approach is that you want to build and then you want to cut, or you want to cut and then you want to build and then you want to cut. That's the more realistic approach. Only because your body type most likely cannot build muscle and lose body fat at the same time. Understanding that fasting does mobilize body fat while protecting muscle, the Leangains can be a good choice. I've done the Leangains method so that I can build muscle multiple times. But the thing about the Leangains is I do it because I want to maintain the benefits of fasting. I do it because I want to maintain myself in the realm of fasting so that I can get those benefits and also keep that rhythm going. I just like it. I just like that lifestyle. I like not having to eat and not having to think about food when my fast has initiated. But the thing is, you can still find yourself force feeding, and it's really not easy to eat at a surplus. A lot of people think that it's nothing, you can always eat at a surplus and that's just the easiest thing in the world. But to consistently eat at a surplus every day so that you can build muscle, to do that on a consistent basis is harder. Anything is easy when you're not paying attention to it. It takes the same amount of time to lose the weight as it does to gain the weight, but it feels much faster because you're not paying attention to it. You're just going on about your day and you're gaining weight because you're eating above your calories every now and then, and you're not thinking about it. You're putting it off, and then when you look in the mirror, you know, a month or 2 or 3 months later, you're like, oh my God, how did I gain this weight so fast? And then when you're losing weight, you're constantly paying attention to the fact that you're trying to lose weight. So you're looking in the mirror not every 2 months, every 3 months, but every day, every morning, every night. So it's much different when you're actually losing weight than when you're gaining weight, in terms of what you're paying attention to and how the time feels much slower because you're paying attention to the process. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. It tends to be the same amount of time going up and the same amount of time going down. Now, when you're paying attention to the fact that you need to be at a surplus and you're paying attention to the fact that you're trying to gain weight, you will see that it will also take a long time. And because of this, if you do not want to fast simply to build the muscle, because it is very difficult to force feed yourself, then I would say that it isn't so much of a crime to not fast to build the muscle. You can put fasting to the side so that you can try to do this as comfortable as you can, so that you can eat something at one end of the spectrum, eat a big meal, and at the other end of the spectrum, eat another big meal. I understand that, and that makes sense. You want to be able to comfortably eat this surplus of food. A lot of people even have trouble when they're doing fasting to eat the food that they're supposed to eat within a deficit. So I know that the surplus can be that much harder. With me, I've trained my body to eat a lot of food when I'm going at a surplus, but it is still very uncomfortable. It's still very uncomfortable, and I've been doing this for about almost 5 years, and it's still very, very uncomfortable. So is the Leangains method ideal? Well, if you had to pick between the intermittent fasting methods that you can use, the Leangains is the best. Now, this is determined by your decision. Do you care for that time frame to still reap the benefits of intermittent fasting? Also, is it tough for you specifically to get into the rhythm of intermittent fasting? If it is, it might be ideal for you to continue the process of intermittent fasting and try to train your body to force feed the food so that you can eat the food in surplus. If you don't want to worry about training your body to eat the surplus of food so you can build your muscle, you still want to focus on just building your muscle, you can come off of the whole intermittent fasting regimen to build the muscle. Now, the important thing is that there's probably no better system out there for you to lose the body fat while maintaining the muscle than intermittent fasting. Simply because the HGH is increasing, the fat is being mobilized as the main energy source, so the muscle is being protected that much more, so you retain more muscle when you're dropping body fat if you're doing intermittent fasting. Also, if you want to maintain your body weight, intermittent fasting is good for that as well, because you're maintaining muscle, and any little bit of fat that you're getting here and there is being chipped away little by little, and your muscles are really getting prioritized if you're eating at your maintenance level, because not only are you putting in the calories where you're not at a deficit, you're also doing the fasting, so most of the calories will be reallocated to protect muscle tissue as opposed to protecting body fat. So after you reach a level where you want to be in building muscle for that time span, for the cutting, definitely intermittent fasting. For the maintenance, definitely intermittent fasting. But for the building, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, for the building portion, if you don't want to focus so much on force feeding yourself and going through that process and training yourself for that, if you just want to get through that portion through, maybe 2 months or 3 months of bulking, I would say that you can suspend intermittent fasting for some time so you can do the bulking, and then once that is complete, you can go back into bulking. If you do need to do it and you want to still be intermittent fasting, which is fine, understand that the best one is the Leangains method, which is 16-8. But my final verdict on it, I still do the 16-8, not from out of being stubborn, but just out of the process of intermittent fasting, just the whole system of intermittent fasting. I enjoy that lifestyle, so I do it. But to be honest, I believe it's much more efficient for you to do the system where you're not focusing on the timing and you're not worried about, the time has passed, I can't eat anymore, but you still need to get your calories. If you have to worry about all that stuff, if you have to focus on that, then you won't do it comfortably. But like I said, once you get up there, the best thing to do to cut that body fat, because of course body fat is going to come up with you, is intermittent fasting, preferably the warrior diet or the 1 meal a day diet. Hopefully this video has helped you guys. If you have any other questions to any other videos that I've had in the past, I will have one here, and of course my subscribe button will be down there. Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good one. Peace.